What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. God took me to Joshua chapter 1 verse 6, and I'm just gonna read all the way down to 9. And it says, Joshua, be strong and brave. You must lead these people so they can take the land that I promised their fathers I would give them. Be strong and brave. Be sure to obey all the teachings my servant Moses gave you. If you follow them exactly, you will be successful in everything you do. Always remember what is written in the book of the teachings, which I'm not sure what book this is referencing. Some people might think it might be the 10 Commandments, but I don't know. Like, sometimes I think that this is like a future forecasting, if you will. I think the Bible can do that because Revelations is obviously something to be revealed in the future that's going to happen. You can see Mia in the back. Study it day and night to be sure to obey everything that is written there. If you do this, you will be wise and successful in everything. Remember that I commanded you to be strong and brave. Don't be afraid, because the Lord your God will be with you everywhere you go. So I was just listening to a minister, and she was talking about how she was contending for her husband. She's currently separated, and she was just talking about how she was contending for her husband that has a narcissistic spirit. And the one thing that she recommended was separation, because you are no match for the spirit that influence this being in that the Leviathan spirit, which influences the individual to have narcissistic traits. And we know that we don't war against flesh and blood. And the one thing that I found so interesting is that the Leviathan spirit, I believe it's in the book of Job, is a very prideful spirit. So even if they wanted to say, I'm sorry, or make amends, or do the right thing, because there's that spirit of pride there, they're not going to be able to do that. And what I thought was so interesting, and how God took me to this this chapter, is that I feel like this is exactly what God is putting out to the women who are, you're either going through a separation, potentially going through a divorce, but God is telling you to be strong and to be brave right now, because there's nothing that you can do to be able to help your husband other than pray for him. Pray for him that he gets deliverance. Pray for him. Pray for yourself. Receive deliverance for yourself. Because God is the one that actually takes out the spirit of Leviathan. And it's so interesting to me, because a lot of the times, like, especially when navigating this separation process, I've wanted to like try to stand in the gap, try to like physically tell them to like go get counseling. And that's something that I still promote, like, and I'll still tell him to do, or tell anyone who struggles with this, if you need to get counseling, get counseling. But the one thing that she did mention is that we are no match for that spirit. Like, God is the one that gets the victory over that spirit, and God is the one that gets the victory over all of these entities that we have to go to war for and cast out, because we can't do it by our might, but by his strength. Thus saith the Lord. All this stuff is in the Bible. But I just thought it was very interesting, because right now he's telling he's telling, at least he was confirming to me, and I know if he's confirming it to me, testimony of one is a testimony to all. That you just need to be strong and brave right now. And if there's anything that you need to work on right now within yourself, do that. Continue to pray for that person. And just ask God, like, what his mind and what his heart is concerning the situation and what he truly wants you to do. Because that was the other thing that she said. These people, they have so many, the Leviathan has scales, and she was saying, like, the Bible describes it. I'll have to look up the scripture. You look up the scripture to confirm it. But the scales are so tight that air can't get in. So it doesn't matter like what you say out your mouth to this person, they're not going to receive it. They're not going to be able to receive it in any capacity, because they've got scales over their eyes, scales over their ears, scales over their mouth, like scales over everything. And all you can do is pray for people like that. And it's not the person, it's the spirit that's influencing the person. Because the other thing that she said, as crazy as this is going to sound, this might be the title that I title it, is that people with narcissistic traits, or have again, I can't diagnose, but have those types of problems, were probably people that actually had a huge heart, but something happened to them during their lifetime that impacted them so deeply, and which doesn't excuse their behavior, to be clear, but it impacted them so deeply that they just became stone cold. And I just find it interesting right now that this is like what we're really, what I think is going on a lot right now is this Leviathan spirit, this narcissistic spirit that is running like rampant, and it's very hard to separate separate the person from the spirit, but that's what we're called to do, because we do not war against flesh and blood. And you can quickly, when you're dealing with people who have these characteristics, you can quickly fixate on the characteristics of the person rather than the entity that's influencing those characteristics. So I don't know if this is helpful. I'm hoping it was helpful. Guys, don't give up. He says to be brave and be strong, because right now I don't think, like, if you are in the separation season, that God is separating you two just for that person to be delivered. I think it's also for both people, because nothing happens just by chance. We deal with an intentional God. So I pray that you guys have a blessed Saturday, and have a good weekend. Peace.